This is my dad. Say hi, Dad.
Hi.
My dad is no stranger to extreme sports and all the protective gear and their pros and cons. So I will be recording his firsthand experience with all of that. So when did you start dirt biking? And
Well, growing up, we didn't wear helmets, bicycles back in that day, back in the 60s. When I got my first motorcycle, I was about 12, and your grandfather, my dad, told me that if he ever caught me on it without a helmet, that was it. Bike's gone. No questions asked. So when my friends and I would go ride, we'd go to these trails that we had close to the house. A lot of my friends would get there, take their helmets off, and then would ride. So I was doing that too, hoping not to get caught, thinking that was cool and that's what you should do and all that, like my friends. And then one day I was at home looking through all my magazines that I had. I took a lot of magazines of dirt bike, motocross action, those kind of things. And as I'm looking at my heroes in these pages, I realized that these guys had every piece of gear you could possibly have on at the time. You know, they had the top of the line equipment, and I realized, well, I'm wanting to be like that. So that was it. From then on, I always wore my gear. Whenever I went to ride, I'd always put my gear on, helmet, gloves, whatever I had, and I did from then on.
all right. Did you have any personal experiences with a close call that you knew?
Yes. Where a helmet, I've had close calls where a helmet specifically, I believe, kept me from injury. I started racing when I was about 15 or 16, and I had a few get-offs, but one in particular I remember was a pretty fast section of track, and I lost it coming over a jump and just plowed myself. It broke the visor on my helmet. I used to wear, back then they didn't have full-face helmets for motocross. They had what they call a face fender, and I had a face fender, which made it look like a full-face helmet. They just hadn't developed those yet, and it popped that off. It was an impact to the head, but I got up. I got up and actually finished the race. And, I know that helmet protected my head like it was supposed to do. I was sore all over though.
All right. Any friends?
And on the street, years later, I was a blowout on the rear wheel. I was on the back of another motorcycle, and it pitched me like a catapult. And I wish I had that helmet today, but of course that was almost 40 years ago. And that helmet was ground down on the right side all the way to the foam. I mean, it was ground to the foam, and I guarantee you that helmet saved my head. That would have been my skin and skull, and I actually got up from that one too. And, I wish I'd have had a helmet all over my body because I had road rash on the right and left side of my body. I didn't tumble, which was probably the best thing that happened. You break bones when you start to tumble, but I slid on one side, and then I just kind of rolled and slid on the other side. Pushed the helmet down because it was the only part of it that wasn't burning. So the helmet took the abuse. And of course, I've seen friends of mine, especially racing, I've seen friends of mine go down, and their helmets in this pile saved their butts. I mean, their helmets saved their butt heads.
Have you seen any friends get hurt not wearing a helmet?
Yes, absolutely. You know who I'm talking about too. Your Uncle JR, who he went down without a helmet on, and his head looked like a popped watermelon. It was bad. It didn't kill him, but it put him out for a while. So.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Dad.
You're welcome. You're welcome. The bad thing about your Uncle JR going down is they actually had a doctor tell him if he'd had a helmet on, it could have possibly broke his neck. And maybe, but I guarantee you if he had a helmet on, he'd have stood more of a chance of getting up and walking away from it than spending time in the hospital. So.
Well, I'm glad you wore a helmet.
And we got to meet.
All right. Thanks, Dad.
All righty.
Bye.